Yeah, just go. If you go on that side.
Morning, everyone.
Yeah.
I can see when you walk in the house.
Go on the other side.
Perfect, we can read that out later. Perfect. Morning, we're ready. So again, my deepest condolences to the family for the sad loss of their loved one. On Saturday, 6/10/23, Juan Carlos Morales, DOB 71203, was fatally shot in Dungeon Park on Valley Street. Sergeant McGinn, Detectives Herzberger and Nasir took the lead of the investigation under the command of Captain Aspen and Lieutenant Nick. These detectives quickly came up with a suspect identified as Kevin Giron, date of birth 4/19/04. By Monday, they had an arrest warrant for Giron. Their active progressive investigation led us to 140 Hudson Street, where we knew our suspect was staying with family members. With the assistance of the state police and our special response unit, a safe entry was made into the home, but unfortunately, we were unsuccessful in making the arrest and the apprehension, and our suspect was able to escape arrest. For the next 24 hours, Providence Police adult and juvenile detectives, members of our intelligence division, our ATV task force, members of our federal agencies such as ATF and the U.S. Marshals, and members of the Attorney General's office worked persistently to locate Giron. At approximately 5 p.m. yesterday, after a lengthy surveillance conducted, as I stated earlier, by members of our intelligence unit, and critical details provided by the detective division, officers were able to confirm that our suspect was inside a home located at 280 Union Avenue in the city of Providence. Immediately, a perimeter was set up and a special response unit was called in. After several attempts to have the subject come out of the house by negotiators of the Providence Police Department, and we were unsuccessful, a special unit tactical team made an entry. Kevin Giron was then located in a small closet under the stairwell, hidden under numerous articles where he was trying to conceal himself. He was then handcuffed without incident and transported to Central Station. Make no mistake about it, this was an outstanding team effort from members of the Providence Police Department, and I'd like to take a moment to commend them for that work. Detectives Herzberger and Nasir, under the supervision of Lieutenant Ludovici and Sergeant McGinn. Data analysis from Detective Mitch Guerra, under the supervision of Sergeant Primiano. Youth service interviews from Detective David Perez and Sergeant Michael Wheeler, as well as the assistance from the U.S. Marshal's Office, the Violent Fugitive Task Force, ATF, as well as the state police. Ultimately, the outstanding surveillance and groundwork from the detective division and the intelligence unit under the leadership of Sergeant Andres Perez and the ATV task force under Lieutenant Janet and Sergeant Lafferty resulted in the outstanding safe apprehension conducted by members of our special response unit under the leadership of Captain Barrows and Lieutenant Vieira. I also like to recognize all the members of the Patrol Bureau who assisted on Hudson Street and again on Union Avenue to make this apprehension. It's truly a pleasure to watch all the members of the Providence Police team put in a great effort to bring this subject to arrest and get him off the streets of Providence. Our mission statement is clear. It is clear. The Providence Police Department, united with all citizens, is committed to improving the quality of life of our city, preserving the peace, protecting human rights, apprehending criminals consistent with the law, and we stand by that. The results of this apprehension, again, is the outstanding work of the men and women of the Providence PD that go in and out every day. Public safety is priority. Someone lost their life in our city, and again, my condolences to the family members that lost their loved one. I'll turn it over to the mayor for his remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel. Thank you all for coming today. I want to briefly, but clearly, extend my gratitude to the men and women of the Providence Police Department for their incredible work and professionalism in this apprehension and over the last several days. The men and women of the Providence Police Department work hard to keep Providence safe on a daily basis, and this is yet one more example of the way in which they work collaboratively as a team. You heard from the colonel, the various units that were involved. This is why Providence Police is such an exceptional police department nationwide. I want to thank the colonel and obviously all the people involved, including Captain Aspinall, the detectives, the special teams that were a part of it. I also extend my condolences to the family who lost a loved one, and to the people of Providence will reiterate that no amount of violence, particularly gun violence, is acceptable, and every loss is a tragedy. At the same note, we work tirelessly to make sure that we hold those who commit these crimes accountable, and will continue to push for both policy changes but also for exceptional policing here in the city of Providence. So thank you again to the hardworking men and women in the Providence Police Department. This community is grateful for your continued hard work, professionalism, and exceptional service. Turn it back to the Colonel.
Thank you. We'll open it up for questions.
Colonel, any members of the family or the residents of that home, are they going to be charged with harboring the fugitive?
So we're looking into that right now. At this point, I don't believe so, but if anything comes up, like I stated earlier, the work that detectives are still doing is actively and progressively and making sure that if we need to charge anyone else, we will. At this point, we don't have anybody else.
Understanding that police have discretion in making those kind of decisions, do you run the risk also of sending the message that the Providence Police Department will look the other way if you harbor a fugitive in a really serious case like this one?
At the end of the day, it's all about public safety. And we want to make sure that if we're going to charge anybody, it's a person that they deserve to be charged. So we'll look into that. Go ahead.
Chief, you talk about holding people accountable and the great work that the police department does, but Kevin Giron has been arrested now 3 times for gun crimes in the last 13 months. And, you know, how often does that happen? How often do your detectives see that happen when they are rearresting somebody on a violent crime? Is there any sense of frustration here?
Listen, at the end of the day, the criminal justice system is the criminal justice system. We are the face of the criminal justice system at the beginning of the day. Our job is to pursue justice, present it to the courts, and then at the end of the day is their decision. Our job is to make sure that we apprehend criminals, like I stated earlier, consistent with the rule. What happens after that is what will occur in the criminal justice system.
But to Amanda's point, is it frustrating for you and the men and women of your department to see a suspect like this back out in the street now, defended in a murder case when he had the charges that Amanda outlined there?
I agree. I mean, the work that we do is hard. I mean, as you all know, it's very difficult to do this type of work. And so when someone gets released, especially when we know for a fact that you be, of course, it's frustrating. It's frustrating to anybody, yes. Again, I'll go back to the fact that it's all about public safety. But if they're out and they continue to commit crimes, as you see in this particular case, they're going back to face the criminal justice system, and that's what occurred in this incident.
Have you recovered the weapon that was found?
Moment, la comunidad está segura ahora después de ese arresto.
So the question is the community safe after this arrest? And that is correct. And that was one of the things that we prioritized after the incident with this individual was on the streets. We wanted to make sure that we bring calmness back to the city, and that's exactly what occurred. So yeah, the community is safe. La comunidad está segura, porque realmente la intención fue traer a esta persona nueva a la cárcel, y eso fue lo que hicimos en las últimas 24 horas.
Have you recovered the gun that was used to kill Morales? And was it a ghost gun? Was it illegal?
So we're looking into that right now, actually. It's something that we're looking into, and this investigation is still ongoing, but we don't have the firearm at this point.
You don't have the firearm?
Chief,
Yes, go ahead.
so the suspect was caught on Union, but Providence police were also back on Hudson. Could you just touch on that? What was the...
I mean, when we have an investigation that is active, and we have individuals on the streets, we have to cover all the bases, right? And we have several addresses, and that was one of the addresses. Hudson was one, Union was the other. The last thing we wanted is this individual to escape, so we had surveillance.
Could you just touch on the intelligence that made police realize that he had stayed local?
So yeah, it's it's a lot of work, and I stated earlier the critical details that detectives obtain. We have men and women that's all they do is surveillance, and they're good at it. Intelligence unit, as I mentioned earlier. So he led us to this house on Union Avenue. Now I can't get into details, but I'll tell you something. It was factual evidence that led us there, and that's the reason we made an apprehension in the house at 280 Union Avenue.
Any idea why homicides are up this year at this point compared to last year?
So we're up to compared year to date. And I'll tell you, it's summertime. I think that it just happens that we had two. We had one, but out of the 6, we had 6 homicides. Out of the 6, we've made 4 arrests. And so We're hoping, and I'll tell you, again, I can't commend the work enough that the detectives do, and I'm hoping that we can solve those other two, because at the end of the day, families want to see results. When they lose a loved one, they expect the Providence Police to act. I've seen plenty of people die in the city, and I'll tell you, we all take it personal. We wear dispatch with pride on a daily basis, and that's what we did in the last 36 hours to make sure that we took cops on someone that committed an incident of homicide in the city.
Mayor, he said that they wear the badge with pride. The previous administration handcuffed the police department to go after criminals. Now you pro-police. You pleased with the work they're doing at this moment?
You know, I'm only looking forward, but yes, I am extraordinarily proud of the work that the Providence Police Department does to keep our community safe every day. I think everyone in Providence should be proud of the Providence Police. They are a highly decorated and well-regarded police department nationally, and they have my full trust and confidence, and I continue to applaud their work. That's why I'm here today, and will continue to support their professionalism and the hard work that they do every day.
Colonel, any more clarity on the motivation behind the murder itself?
So there was definitely a gathering that happened at the park, like stated earlier, motivation. It looks like a dispute between these two young men, and so forth. It's a dispute, personal dispute that they had.
Did they know each other?
It seems like that. It seems like they knew each other, correct?
Question for Mayor Smiley. Is the gun violence or the violence in Providence any motivation within the changes for PDD Fest?
Not specifically. Gun violence is a problem in our city, and it's something that honestly keeps me up at night. There are way too many guns in this community, and things that might have been personal disputes resolved through fistfights in the past now result in gunfire and sometimes death. And it's a problem, and I will continue personally to advocate for stricter gun laws here in the city and in the state of Rhode Island. But keeping Providence safe with the proliferation of illegal guns in our community impacts so many things in our city, both from large public events to summer barbecues. And so it's not a specific driver for changes to this year's festival, but it overall is a major concern for me and for the administration. And I think as a community, we need to continue to make it far more difficult for people to have a gun, and we need to continue to support the good work of the Providence Police Department to take illegal guns off the street, for which they have a great track record. But it is swimming upstream, because the amount of illegal guns in our streets is just overwhelming.
Chief, are you making
If I
any?
may add on that, I think obviously the city of Providence is not just a place where there's gun violence. I'll tell you, I've had the privilege to go around the nation. There's all the major cities. Chicago, if you look at it, there's a lot of murders that are happening there. Like the medical state is important. There's a lot of guns out there. But I'm very confident on the men and women of this department will continue to seize those guns.
Chief, what are you doing about public safety in that particular neighborhood? I mean, it seems like the community is asking for more of a presence.
Yeah, so that's a great question, Amanda. And it's actually a community that's predominantly a Central American community. We're pretty close with the police department. We have, I just went to a public forum the other day. So as far as that, I know the mayor's working with the council to try and increase our numbers, and we're hoping that we can start a recruiting process soon, so that we can increase the numbers in our department, and that we can also provide those special lectures that I call like foot posts, extra police presence, and things of that nature.
But anything like in the immediate aftermath of the homicide?
Yeah, so we actually I'm in the process of contacting some of the community members, which I'm close to set up this sort of communication and set up a public forum talk, so that we can advise them as far as, the kids, the teenagers that they have in their houses, if they possess firearms, and some of the things that they need to contact us and to make sure that we have a relationship. So.
It was the special response unit that apprehended the suspect here. That's a tactical unit. I imagine that's a big decision to either continue to try and coax the suspect out of the home, as opposed to moving the tactical unit into the house where it could raise the temperature. What was behind making that decision in this case?
At the end of the day, it's about public safety. And at the end of the day, it's making sure that our officers are safe, that the person that we're looking for is safe, and that everyone else around that area is safe. So yeah, it's a big decision, but and if you think about it, it's actually a simple decision, because it's all about safety.
All right, thanks, guys. He's gonna be in court this afternoon, by the way.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do we have any pictures or anything else you want to share with us?
I don't have any on me, no.